The following is a transcript of a conversation between Matías De Stefano, referred to as me, and his higher self, referred to as I am. 11th of May, 2021. Home. I am. When you have understood what it means to live in the state of well-being, and your ideas contemplate wealth and abundance as concepts of the inner world, then you will be able to ignite the inner spark that illuminates what you will call home. And in this, you will discover the richness of your soul. Me, home, the home of the soul. How do we get there? I am. This past week, we have talked about the mental concepts that constitute values, the foundations that enable your development and growth as a being. Ideas that we tend to put in the external world away from us and struggle to achieve. In reality, all of it is within, the source of all things, the resonance that attracts what vibrates in oneself, the energy you generate and manage, the abundance that flows within, the strength you gain in recognizing the manifestation of matter, the security you feel in yourself, the various wealth that you are able to generate, the comfort you seek to feel, all leading you to the state of general well-being, which, as we have said, does not mean being well, calm and stable, but just implies the taking power of what one is in all its aspects. Me, to empower oneself, to rule oneself. I am. That power, that mastery of oneself is what turns an inner force into a potential. Power in itself is an energy that, if badly channeled, can be counterproductive for oneself and for others. But if you learn to manage these concepts for your life, you will turn power into potency and potency into a tool that you will call potential. Me. Potential. Potential would be the configuration of a tool from inner potential and energy put into outer kinetic energy, into action. I am. Like using fire to forge a sword. Me. How do I activate that potential? I am. With focus. To put focus, to be focused, which implies putting all the attention, manifesting the intention, it is discovering the inner focus of power and, through recognition, attitudes, and constancy, giving it the form of potential. To focus on an internal matter is to ignite the fire of the soul's potential. The word focus evokes a light directed towards a specific point, and this is because the word focus comes directly from the Latin focus, which means fire. In English, it comes from the Greek variation phyros. The discovery of fire was crucial for humanity to become what it is today. When early humans discovered how to handle fire, they were able to protect themselves at night by spotting or fighting predators. They were also able to cook, boiling water, which killed bacteria and kept us away from diseases, as well as cooking food, meat above all, which in this chemical reaction facilitated the absorption of many more nutrients that were lost before, and now that went straight to the brain, improving synapses and developing minds. And above all, it allowed them to sleep warm, not cold, more relaxed, until they saw how the fire melted minerals, which then allowed them to create tools. This allowed them to create those tools. Wasn't fire something to worship? Me. Clearly, yes. I am. It was seen as a divinity and worshipped as such, for it shone at night like the sun in the day, and thus was seen as a gift from the gods of the sun and stars. The human was thought to be chosen for having received this gift of being able to manipulate light. Thus was generated the greatest development of an animal species by leaps and bounds. Adoring this luminous being for seeing the quantity of potentials that it impelled in the beings, it awoke admiration. When humans became sedentary, every home created an altar to the fire. In it, they cooked, gathered around it to talk, eat, and sleep. They worshipped it, keeping it alive as the spirit of the family. This focus was called Fokaris, origin of the word home. In English, home, the word was joined to another Indo-European word meaning settlement, teki or tkei, a place to stand around the fire. Me. Wow, home means fire? So the idea of home is the fire around which individuals gather. That's why we usually call the hearth the hearth. That's right. It doesn't have to do with the physical house, but with the spirit that unites, that focuses a group to be part of, to share, all because of the fire that was put inside. This sacredness that enabled the human being in his development turned him into an object of worship, and in times of hunting, women were the ones who were dedicated to take care of the fire, to keep the heat of the home lit. These women were called custodians of the fire of the place, which generated an Indo-European word called wes, meaning place, and fire. In Greek, the W became an aspirated H, causing these women to be called Hestias, and in Latin, the W became a V, calling them Vestales. This Indo-European tradition generated the image of the Greek goddess Hestia and the Latin goddess Vesta, both being in reality one and the same, goddess of the hearth. Me. The Vestals in Rome were the virgin priestesses that no one could touch, whose task for 30 years was to take care of the sacred fire that kept alive the spirit of the people. The fire was in the home of the Vestals. I am the house of light. Me. Oh, the goddess Hathor. I am. In the Nile, the Vestals were called the Hathor, meaning house of light. These women represented the home and taught people to keep the divine fire burning within them. In mythology, Hathor is the goddess wife of Horus. Horus is the light of the sun, hawk god of the heavens, who descends to earth to fight against his uncle, darkness, and thus bringing day again after night. Son of Osiris and Isis, he is the savior of Egypt, a sort of Christ for the ancient world. His wife is the goddess of love, who covers and protects him, who extends love, peace, beauty, affection, and protection to all those who live in the light and its ways. Hathor is connected with the image of the cow as protective mother, giver of life and prosperity. Me, yes, as we have seen, creator of the universe, of the Milky Way, I am. And in the stellar Milky Way are the walls that protect the sun within. Just as every human home had a fire and a woman to guard it with the walls of the home, the gods would also have their home in the stars, the sun being the fire and the stars its walls. The sacred cow, Hathor, is the home, the house of light, the stars containing the sun. Her infinite love makes her the heart of existence, the warm home of the mother who loves her children and gathers them to eat around the fire. Me. In her temple in Dendera, you can see the stars on the ceiling, the constellations painted and her protecting existence looking in every direction on the capitals of each column, holding in her crown a box, the hearth. It is a temple full of love, of color, of life in spite of being empty. And in its basement are the chambers that explain how to turn on that light, the Atlantean energy of the protector, the potential of the self, the blue energy. I am the lady in blue that you must ignite on the August 22nd. Me. It is the sacred fire. I am to light the home on earth. Me. On that day we must light a fire and feed it all day long, put the spotlight on the home of the Mother Earth so that the Blue Mother will descend. I am. And that Mother Blue is love, is eternity, is the empowerment of home. Me. But what is it that descends? I am. Pleiades, the sisters, the heart of Taurus, the Titan Atlas and the nymph Pleione. They had 7 daughters. The daughters of Pleione are the Pleiades, in turn meaning many or several, from the Greek pleias, being in turn the Peleidas, the flock of doves. Me, the 7 stars that shine in the heart of Taurus. Tell me about them. I am. Mayo was the first of the daughters. It means little mother, and because she slept with Zeus, she gave birth to our famous god Hermes. Goddess of spring for the Romans, her name gave origin to the month of May, month of Taurus. For the Hindus, this goddess is the illusion, not for being the deception, but for being the abstract and metaphysical, the dream of spirit. Me, Seleno, I am. It means darkness, shadow, and mysteriously lover and mother of the children of Prometheus, who put himself at the service of humans by giving them a fire as a gift, which he stole from the gods on Olympus. Thus Prometheus illuminated the dark nights, and for this reason she fell in love with him. Me, Alcyone, is the one I hear most often mentioned as if she was the most important. I am. She is the most powerful. Her name means she who gives birth to the sea, giving origin to the word powerful and strong. The brightest of the 7, she is interpreted as a powerful nymph who guides the others. Me, Electra, I am. Mother of Dardanus, founder of Troy, who initiated the civilization that would change the world by giving the children that would initiate Rome. Me, Taegete, I am. The independent sister who did not intend to be taken by any of the gods. She asked Artemis to turn her into a deer so that no one could find her. Me, Asterope, I am. It means star, the fire that gave Ares the spark for his creations in the forge. Me, Merope, I am. The lost one of the sisters, the most ashamed for never having been with a god, but with a mortal, Sisyphus, who for his sins was condemned to carry a gigantic rock to the top of a mountain, which fell down again and again and had to climb back up. You could say that Merope looked for someone similar to her father, Atlas, who held the world on his back. Me, what do these 7 sisters represent to us? I am. They are the sparks that ignite the fire of the soul, the home of the self. Beyond the fact that mythology describes them as the daughters of Atlas and their relationship to the Atlantic story speaks of 7 representing the islands of the lost empire. Their spirits embody something more subtle, which is what must descend into the soul of every human being. Me, what is it? I am. The arts. The Pleiades represent the creative soul, the love of beauty, the inspiration of the gods to create. Me, the muses, the 7 arts. I am. But we will speak of 9. Calliope, muse of eloquence and epic poetry. Clio, muse of history. Erato, muse of the lyric of art of elegy. Euterpe, she is the muse of music. Melpomene, she is the muse of tragedy. Polyhymnia, she is the muse of hymns. Thalia, the muse of comedy. Terpsichore, the muse of dance. And Urania, the muse of astronomy and astrology. Each of them will awaken the arts that compose the human soul. They are the inspiration that brings oxygen to the inner fire of divine potential. Me. To ignite the inner fire is to be inspired by the arts of the muses, and to bring the energy of the Pleiades is to descend these arts into the fire of our own homes. and souls. I am. Therefore, you must know them. For to create a new world, you need the inspiration of the soul and the heart of Taurus, of the heartbeat of the mother, me. I am ready to be inspired, therefore lighting the fire of my potential in order to manifest a new world from the beauty and art of the soul. I am. Become a Vestal, keeper of the sacred fire within you, home of manifestation. Discover in emotion the strength that lies within you. Me. I am the home. I am keeper of universal inspiration.